Hey, this is Jay with ProGrade Card Services, and today we're going to do a PSA grade reveal. We got 2 boxes that just arrived in. Let's see what we got. So we are going to be looking at a TCG non-sports bulk. So we do have that submission here. We're going to bring out the first box. We actually have some pre-graded. So we'll be able to take a look to see how our pre-grades did in comparison to how the cards came back. All right, so unraveling, starting us off, we have an old school Pocket Monsters at 1996. All right, let's see what we got. Light Dragonite comes back as a 9. Next one up, Pikachu in the Nagaba series is a 10. All right, we have a Bulbasaur, comes in at a 9. Final one of the small box. Another Bulbasaur, illustration rare. This one comes back in 8. All right, so we're going to open up our bigger box. All right, let's see what we have waiting. All right, we have an Umbreon out of Neo Discovery. Comes back a 7. All right, we have a Squirtle, illustration rare. Comes back a 9. Squirtle, another illustration rare, 9. Both got those fun hollows. All right, we have our next one is a War Turtle, 9. A Blastoise, 9. All right, we have a Jolteon. This one comes back a 10. So far our 10s are from the same campaign. All right, next one we have up is a Salamence reverse foil. Comes back a 6. All right, we have a Houndoom, and it comes back an 8 on the hollow. All right, so we haven't gotten to any of our pre-grades yet. We have 3 of them. Oh, we actually hit our first pre-grade, it looks like, and I ruined that one. I don't know which one's which with their not being named on the back. All right, so we actually, as you can see, came back a 10. So during the pre-grade, the prediction was a 9-10. The front was clean. It had one little spot that it was all I could really find on the front. Otherwise, you can see I was pretty comfortable with it. On the back had some concerns. Edging, corners, surface, centering was all just a little off. But I'm glad they didn't go hard on it, and it came back a 10. All right, our next one is a Carmine, and this one comes back a 10. I must have logged that wrong. Oops, yeah, I definitely must have read that wrong. I marked it as an 8. I thought it was going to be a 9-10. For some reason, I marked it as coming back as an 8, which I was disappointed about because you can see the numbers I had didn't indicate anything close to an 8. So I'm glad it actually came back a 10. That makes me happy. I'm going to have to go back and make that correction. But yeah, so clean card, came back as a 10. I'm glad that was an error. I was disappointed in myself in that one. I just didn't know what I missed. All right, so there we go. Our next one, we have a Dark Charizard, and this one comes back a 6. And with a lot of these cards, they definitely have edging issues. A lot of issues come from the edging. People think they look clean to the naked eye, but if you would actually turn off the light and throw on a black light to it, a lot of the exposure comes out. All right, so our next one, an Umbreon first edition out of Neo Discovery, comes back in 8. So that seems to be the common area for those cards. All right, and our next one. Oh, all right, there you go. Nice first edition, and we actually did a pre-grade on this one. Comes back in 8. I gave it a 6-7 based on the surface. Has quite a bit going on. The hollow was pretty torn up. We had a line going across the top. We had edging concerns. Centering wasn't the greatest. So mainly the surface. And then on the back, we had additional surface concerns. So I went pretty heavy on this, and I thought a 6-7. But I also mentioned that to my client that I wouldn't be surprised if it came back an 8. And there it goes. There's the 8. So I'm glad they went higher. But the whole idea of pre-grading is knowing the condition of the card. That way you can make an educated decision on how to best move forward. So far, when my numbers hit, the high number matches the return 62% of the time. My low number matches 22% of the time, so 84% of the time one of my two numbers hit. When it doesn't hit, it's usually them going higher than what I would have gone, which is great for my clients. For me as an educator, I got to make sure my clients know the full spectrum of the card condition. So that's where they can take that risk and hope for that extra 13% that goes higher than what I would have gone. Only 3% of cards I've submitted have come back lower than what I've expected. Giovanni's Persian, 6. And then there's some cards that I don't inspect that are just purely submitted, and it's always just a whim, fun to discover what it comes back as. A 10, there you go. All right. Ooh, a 4. This actually came out of the wrapper. It is damaged. That's just straight damaged. That's like notably bent or... Oh, wow. Okay. I'm going to have to report that to my rep. See what this first what the first look looks like, which is the picture they take when it first comes in. There's no way we submitted that with that sort of damage. That's disappointing. Okay. Well, that one is a unique one. Sometimes things happen. The way we handle cards here on ProGrade side, there's no way that damage was caused here. So I don't know if it's a shipping thing or if it's something on PSA, but something will need to be changed about that one because that one's pretty nasty. All right, so next one we have is a Blaziken, and we have that at a 9. Our next one, Ivysaur, comes back a 10. All right, 2 more. Charizard, there you go, a 9 on the special illustration rare. And closing us out, a Lucario comes back a 6 on the holo. There you go. So that was our grade reveal. We had a few 10s, Ivysaur. We had a tag team. Tag teams are usually pretty clean. Sometimes the centering's off, but otherwise they're pretty clean. The Carmine came back a 10, thankfully. The Kieran came back a 10. My client will be happy about that. Those two cards were pre-graded. And then our 2U Nagaba campaign cards came back as 10s as well. And then for our 9s, we had the classic Charizard, the special illustration rare, Blaziken. We had our little series of evolution with Blastoise, War Turtle, Squirtle. Had a little run of 9s, another Bulbasaur, and a light Dragonite from 2001. Our Magnium came back bigger or higher than what we expected, which is great. So it came back an 8. And then the 2001 Neo Discovery came back pretty consistently. Here these were 8s, and then we have one that was a 7. And then our Bulbasaur illustration rare came back an 8 as well. And then we had a few lower ones out of older collections, which vintage usually does come back older. But we got the 2007, 2000, 2000, and the 2003. So those came back as 6s. Often those have edging wear that is too hard to get by. And then we had you. We have you. Trying to get away from that light. All right. Yeah, so I'm going to write a little email, see what happened. Issues do rise, but the idea is to make sure the client gets right in the end. So I'm going to follow up with PSA and ask about that. But otherwise, that is our grade reveal today. If you liked what you saw, give us a like, give us a subscribe, and help our channel continue to grow. Take care for now.